can see there are already two gentlemen, and there are still more two gentlemen coming in. I would need us to read the host. I don't want him to be the last. We have one gentleman, and he's moving around. He wanted to bring the other gentleman. I know Patrick will bring the other gentleman. This gentleman holds master's degree in business administration. He is a member of Rotary Club of Arua Eco City. He sits at the Diocese Council, that is Arua Catholic Diocese, but he's not a priest. He is a technical director at Nile Breeds Cottages, located in Kira Road, Ginger. He's a business coach, startup, and a mentor. Ladies and gentlemen, we know the gentleman. And the gentleman is none other than Mr. Wambuzi Joseph Chove. Our last panelist, he is a business owner. He has worked in various organizations. He owns one of the jubilees in the building, but not the life insurance. But he owns one that finances the microfinance. Ladies and gentlemen, let's join our hands together to invite Mr. Tony Ochaya. I wanted him to be the last one to come in. Ladies and gentlemen, we have these two ladies and four gentlemen. And these are all business owners, and they have seen it all. Some have gone beyond 10 years, and others have gone beyond 20 years. They are all intellectuals, and when you hear, they are all holding master's degree and all sorts of. Tonight, you can prepare your questions for them. You can fire them anything. But for now, we have only two co-hosts. We will first ask them accordingly, and then they will answer accordingly. Ladies and gentlemen, our first question tonight goes to Proscovia Arima. Proscovia Arima, you watched the video that Joseph Wambuzi talked much about. His 10 years journey in 26 minutes. And then you also attentively listened to our keynote speaker. Through the experience that you have, may you please advise someone who is still into employment comparing the video and the keynote speaker. Thank you. You're welcome.
Since I'm short, I can stand up so that you can see me, those who are a bit far. I've already been introduced. I'm Proscovia, a businesswoman, a family lady, a mother, everything. We are glad to be here. I was whispering to my neighbor that I think Joseph has done something good for us. Sometimes we run around in our small circles, and yet when we interact with other people, we could ease the life that we are leading a little, because there is no need for reinventing the wheel when the wheel has already been invented. So if we could get together, maybe we could pick one or two things that would make our lives better. I was formerly employed, and I'm telling you the truth, it wasn't an easy decision to leave a salary check at the end of the month. I kept postponing until a few factors came into play, and I couldn't postpone any longer. And what I can say, I've never regretted the decision that I took, but it was really painful. It was totally painful because I was getting some good money, and that is the biggest challenge we have. When the check is a bit good, you don't feel you want to venture into the unknown, and it is a human nature. So I'm not saying being employed is bad. Personally, I learned a lot through employment. A lot, and it's a very good training ground for your business. And if you don't learn from your employment, it will be very difficult for you to start a business and sustain it. Those hassles we go through, the boss calling you at this time, I want this report, they have trained us a lot to be able to stand on our 2 legs and be able to start our businesses. So I think I would advise, I don't know if people, because me I started with employment, but there are those who start straight away in businesses. Maybe they will also share with us, but personally I think that organization, which is already set, is a very good training ground. Please go through it. Take time to go through it. Take time to do what you are supposed to be done, because at the end of the day, if you are an employer, you're going to supervise staff. How will you know what they go through if you are never one? So me, I would like, if you can be able to get an employment, get it and have it. And then do the right thing and keep learning from it. What you should do, it will be like an extension of your university degree. A practical for you to learn that now this is what I do. I need to wake up. Sometimes you feel like you don't want to wake up, but you must wake up because the boss will be waiting at the door. You have come late. That statement alone, you don't know what next the boss will say. But it is training you for your own employment. So that even if you're the owner, there's no need for you to go late. Because when you go late, a lot will go wrong. And you will not even know how to correct them. So my advice is, get the employment job, do it very, very well, because treat it as a learning ground. It is training you for what is in the future. My neighbor here said he missed the Saturday check. At a certain point, you don't even have a check. In your own job, there is totally no check, and you go home, you can't even afford a kilo of meat. You get some greens like any other person, and you go home and eat. But you know what you are up to. So because of that, it becomes a training ground as you are employed. And maybe my encouragement to people who have been there, get out of the comfort zone. It's a job, fine, it's giving you money, but it will not give you as much as what you would want your family to take up. Because the day that you go today, and mourn, they will come and bury, they will do a lot of things. Meanwhile, they are going to advertise the job. But when you are in your business, when you go, they are planning how to take up the job. So my advice is treat a job, an unemployed job, as a learning, a practical learning. Because when we are in school, there is a lot of theory. My friend went through those businesses, micro, small. We do a good job of understanding them. But until you are in it, you can't even know how it runs. However small it is, it might fail, you might fail to run it. So we treat the jobs as a training ground, and you're going to be good to go when you get your own job, business. And you need to start planning early. Like Joseph said, he intended to work for 5 years, and he started to eat. Work for 5 years as you plan, as you get the necessary requirements, as you register the business, as you know what area you want to enter, as you know where the finances are, and then leave. Just take a jump and leave, and then you will be good to go. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Proscovia. We can give her an upload. Thank you. The next question will be asked by my co. Here you go.
Well, thank you again, Robert, and thank you again, Madam Prosi. Now, before we continue with the questioning, I'd just like to remind our panelists that we have multiple questions coming your way. So let's try to keep it as brief as possible, the multiple questions coming your way. So Prosi almost answered all our questions in the first answer, so we know what we're going to do for her now. So let's try to keep it to about 3 minutes since the multiple questions coming your way. To the rest of us in the audience, you have an opportunity to prepare your questions in advance. We're going to open the floor, okay? To keep it precise, we encourage you to maybe be able to write it down so that you can ask a precise question. It can be a general question to the team, or it can be a specific quick question to one of the members on this panel. Now, my question is going to sound like a follow-up question to what some of our policy has discussed, and I'm directing this question to Madame Akankwasa Sylvia. I've known her for quite some time. Her journey in business has been the true definition of peaks and valleys. So, when an entrepreneur gets too excited about good news in the market, or sometimes gets too fearful because of bad news in the market, they are prone to making rash investment decisions. Okay? And by making rash investment decisions, sometimes this ends up derailing your plans. So, in your experience over the years in the private sector, Madame Sylvia, what do you think is the right time to actually make that decision to leave formal employment and start your business? I'm going to give you 3 options. You can expand on those. Option A, is it okay to start your business when you are still working and see how it goes? Just mention something like that. Option B, can you maintain both? We have a scenario where yes, you'll maintain formal employment, but have a side hustle that you may do on weekends. The two can actually go concurrently. Option C, can you start your business after quitting? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. My name is Akankwasa Sylvia. I am the proprietor of His Grace International Limited. Thank you for your question, moderator. As for me, I believe in stepping in the water with both legs. I believe in stepping in the water with both legs. I walked out of employment and started my own private business after working for only 2 years, and I've been there for the past 13 years. I have seen it all, but I have been there. I have faced it all, I have been there. Raising capital has been one of the biggest challenges I faced, but the banks were open, I always went there. I borrowed money and paid. Having a job and doing business sometimes puts you at a risk. The risks involved are, 1, there are leakages in the business while you are not there. Because people will only wait to be obedient while you are there, and while you are not there, they will not be obedient. When you start and you're there, there's also a tendency for you to get relaxed because now you're better than people who are employed, especially when you make it early. Then, for those who want to get out and start a business, sometimes there's another challenge that comes. The money may get over or get depleted at the same time. So you run a risk of recapitalizing your business while you have just started it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Sylvia Kamposa. We're going to continue the round of questioning. It will be a back and forth until we open the floor to you, the general audience. So I'd like to welcome back my colleague, Robert.
Thank you, Patrick, and thank you, Sylvia, for being that brave. Now, my question goes to the first gentleman in the building, and that is none other than Mr. Othman. Mr. Othman, many people are often forced into entrepreneurship by circumstances of their employment. That is, they are either laid off, then some are terminated, then some due to retirement, and others resign willingly. In such instances, the persons are moved by anger or a means to start for survival. Would you call an employee who starts up the same business, who starts in the same business line as his or her former employers, an entrepreneur, or you will term such a person being angry, having emotions? Given a scenario between 2011 and 2015, the directors of Bolton, they started Bolton because they are fired from Bolton. And both companies were offering the same services. What would you term such an employee? Is it good to start entrepreneurship out of emotion, or it is always good to start somewhere? Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's a very tricky question. Answering it may be subjective. There's no straight way of answering that. So for me, what I was saying is that that question does not have a straightforward answer. I think it's all about, so when you get into business, if the anger can drive you to achieve that success of an entrepreneur, I think I would still support it. The most important aspect there is being able to get out, start up something, and make it a success. If it is the anger that is going to drive you to achieve that success, we call it good. If it is whatever it is. So in my perspective, I would look at it like this. If it becomes successful, I would call you an entrepreneur. And if it fails, then that's when we shall go for the other option. And all in all, let us get whatever it is in us that can drive us to ensure that we achieve the success of an entrepreneur. Let's get out there and we'll do it.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Othman. Once again, I will invite my co-host, Patrick, to ask the next question.
Okay, thank you once again. My question this time around goes to the CEO, Jubilee Finance Limited. Now, a wave of technological advancements is sweeping across Uganda and across the globe. The closest example I can give is MTN Mobile. They're not just giving you discounts of 25% tonight, but they have a lot of services embedded in a very simple code. By dialing star 165, there's so many options available to you. You can now borrow money, for example, get a loan without going to a bank or to a financial institution. Okay? You can buy power at midnight on your phone. So along the way, technology is advancing. So the question I'm putting forth to you, Mr. Ochaya. And this is in perspective to your line of business, your financial institution. Okay? How prepared are you as an individual, but also as a business, to one, take advantage of emerging technological opportunities, okay, because some of them are actually good, they can help us advance, but also two, to remain relevant in a shrinking human resource world. So for now, as a panelist, you actually have a direct competitor amongst our sponsors, that is MTN. So how do you remain relevant as a businessman, as an institution, a private institution, yet you're competing with technology? Thank you.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank the audience and I greet you in the name of Jesus Christ. We are all here because of God. To my fellow panelists, I thank you for taking this opportunity, for having come here. Joseph, God must continue blessing you. My name is once again Uchaya CEO of Jubilee Finance. The question you have asked is, I think, the current trend of technology. Now, as we run businesses, we have to look at various factors that will affect your business, and one of them is changing technology. Now, I'd like to talk of a brief story from where I began. This bank, the financial institutions we see today operating on internet technology, we came from far. When I joined the bank, I was still a very young guy, but that time we were working money. And I'm sure most of you have never seen what manual banking is. Manual banking, you would enter a bank and each customer would open an account on a paper. We used to call them ledger cards. Ledgers. Okay? Ledger cards. So, and it was 2 years. You would be in the bank in the morning and come out of the bank at around 9 because you have not balance. So I'm that person who has gone through manual banking, through technological banking, up to where we are. Now, as a business, even like this one of Joseph, you have to be prepared for trends in the market. Meaning that, one, you have to be prepared to invest into digitalization of your system so that you catch up with the current trend of business. Now, like for example, you have talked of MTN Momo, you have talked of paying bills on using MTN Momo. The first system, at least which microbank was